Welcome friends. Now we are presenting adventurous story Gulliver Travel. So let's start the story. The Lemuel Gulliver was from Nottingham in England. He studied at Cambridge and then worked as an assistant to a London surgeon. Gulliver used to learn new things about map reading and mathematics. He believed that one day he would travel to far off lands. Gulliver worked for 3 years as a ship's surgeon. He then returned to London, got married, and tried to work as a medic. Finally, he met Captain William Bizard, who was master of the Antelope, and set sail for the South Seas. They left Bristol on the 4th of May 1699. Far into the South Seas, their ship was affected by an storm. Many of the crew died. On the 5th of November, the ship was blown onto some rocks and was domed. Gulliver tried to escape in a lifeboat, but the boat was flooded and sank. Gulliver had the option to swim or to drown. He swam until he was tired and his feet dropped. He could feel the sand below, so he knew he was close to land and he managed to walk to safety. Gulliver had arrived in the land he would come to be known as Lilliput. He could see no sign of either houses or inhabitants. Weak from fatigue, Gulliver settled down and fell into a deep sleep, not waking before daylight. When Gulliver awoke, he realized that he had been strongly tied to the earth. His captor, known as the Lilliputians, were human-like creatures no more than a few inches tall. They provided him with food and drink, which was lacked with her sleeping medicine. He slept all through the following night. While Gulliver slept, his captor placed him onto a carriage and took him to a disused temple near the capital city. More than 200 local inhabitants drove the carriage. Gulliver was inspected by the emperor and his senior officers at the disused temple. Thousands of the local inhabitants came to marvel at him. Gulliver was changed to the temple and the ropes that bound him were cut. Now he could move a little and lie down in the shelter of the old temple. Gulliver entertained the court in many ways and gradually gained the confidence of the emperor. On one occasion, he stood like a colossus while the emperor's armies marched through his legs with drums beating and colors flying. Gulliver was finally granted his liberty and had his chains removed permanently. He was given meat and drink allowance to support 1724 Lilliputians. Every village in the kingdom helped to supply the substance that Gulliver needed. The emperor allowed Gulliver to travel to the capital of Macedonia. Gulliver took great care not to damage any of the people or the buildings. The queen herself took time to greet Gulliver at the window of her apartment in the majestical palace center. The emperor's principal secretly told Gulliver that the emperor needed his help. The kingdom of Lilliput faced the threat of an attack from the neighboring kingdom of Blefuscu. The Blefuscians had equipped a large fleet of ships and Lilliput would soon be attacked. Gulliver pledged that he was ready to defend the emperor and his state with his life. To prevent the invasion by the armies of Blefuscu, Gulliver was determined to capture their field. He planned to tie together their greatest warship and took them back to Lilliput. He equipped himself with ropes and set off across the channel to where their fleet was gathered. When they looked at the Blefuscians were so afraid that they jumped out of their ships and shone for their lives. The whole fleet was left unguarded, but for the archers who were on the shore along with more than 30,000 of their countrymen. The archer fired several thousand arrows at Gulliver in great valleys and he was struck many times in the hands and face. In spite of this baseless assault, he managed to fasten together 50 of their finest ships he cut from their archer and took back to Lilliput. Upon entering the royal port of Lilliput, Gulliver presented the captured ship to emperor. When the Blefuscians looked at their finest ships being taken to Lilliput, they were left in a state of sorrow and disappointment. The Blefuscians sued for peace and the war finished. Some of the emperor's advisors were jealous of Gulliver. They wanted to kill him or blind him. But one of the emperor's courtiers warned Gulliver and he escaped to Blefuscu and was welcomed there by their kings. Gulliver noticed an upturned boat of the shore of Blefuscu and persuaded the king to help him salvage this boat. Because Gulliver's action had averted a major war, the king agreed to his request and ordered that Gulliver should receive all the help and materials he needed to fit up this boat into good repair. After about 1 month, the repairs to the boat were complete. The king allowed Gulliver to take all the provisions that he could carry. When the boat was fully stocked, Gulliver was ready to sail. The royal court gathered to see Gulliver off amid a great ceremony. Gulliver set the voyage on the 24th of September in 1701. Gulliver sailed north and was eventually found by one merchant ship's crew. He was welcomed on board by her captain, Mr. John Riddle, a very civil man, an excellent singer who agreed to take Gulliver home to England. That's it.